What's up? So it's the 45th anniversary of Sesame Place, and today is Saturday the 26th. It's the opening day. Rain or shine, friends, we're out here. And there is a showcase, museum type setup in Sesame Studio right now that is showcasing some of the park's history over the last 45 years. I had a small part in this. Some of my collection is on display in there. I'll point some of those items out to you guys. This is a little bit of a preview. There's still some stuff to be added, which is fun. There'll be a part 2 to this. But I wanted to start and just show you guys some of the items that are in here, talk a little bit about the history in case you don't recognize some of the stuff. And it's gonna be fun. Let's go take a look at all these crazy cool items that have not been seen in decades. Let's look. All right, so as soon as we enter, we see this big entrance here of Big Bird Bridge, 1980. The entrance to Sesame Place used to be this huge Big Bird, and you'd come through his mouth, and he's right here. Now, at some point, they changed him into just steps, and it was like a photo op area. But then around 2007, they took him down. And then they put a carousel there, and now this is where the 1-2-3 playground is. But that used to be the entrance to the park. So I kind of like this. That's kind of a cool little entrance there. Right here is a scan of a postcard of mine, which actually shows the some concept art. And this is pretty darn close to what it ended up looking like, actually. Those welcome letters right there never ended up being made, but the entrance right here is actually still in the park. It's where you scan your tickets to get in. The entrance is still there. There it is. There's Big Bird Bridge, the entrance. There's the turnstiles. So right up here, we have the logo. Now this is the old logo, or one of the old logos that showed up in the 90s. And this sign right here was actually out by the topiaries when you entered the park. It was up on a pole out there. And then it was changed to the modern logo. And now that those topiaries are gone, we don't have one. But this is the original from the old topiaries, which, you know, how cool is this? So over here we have this image of a bird's eye view of the park. This was sometime between probably like 93 and 95, because we still have Twiddlebug Land here, but Sky Splash isn't there. So sometime in the mid-90s, early mid-90s. You can see this is all the park now, but it was just a parking lot. There was a lot of parking lot. Now this, to me, has to be probably one of the coolest things here. This is Buford T. Higginbottom. You probably do not recognize him, but back in 1980, he was sort of the mascot of Sesame Place. He was just on signage and stuff, and they did have a video, some videos that would play in the park with him. They did build a real Muppet of this guy made out of a fat blue anything Muppet, and I believe he was performed by Jerry Nelson. But that's actually lost media. We don't really have that full footage. But he was kind of all over the park, this guy, and he'd sort of guide you around. And this is probably the only item that still exists with him on it. So he's actually a pretty important character for the history. And this big Ernie sign, I don't know exactly where this one's from. A lot of this stuff I can't place exactly, but it's also familiar. This is classic Milton Glasser artwork. He made this font, which is part of the Sesame Place logo. This is very early 80s. The green with the red border and the yellow text. This is just so cool that any of this stuff still exists. Now you have to forgive the glare. It is morning. But these are neat. These are two old uniforms. These are original uniforms, like 1980 original uniforms. This was the regular employee uniform, the yellow. They're actually still yellow today. They were yellow forever, kinda. And this, I believe, was for if you worked with food. I can't remember exactly, but it's still 1980. These are very old. And then down here we have this is early 90s uniform before they embroidered, or I guess they stopped embroidering and then went back to that. And this is really neat here. And then you have some pins down here that these would be given out to employees in the 90s, 2000s. An old pennant flag. They had so many pennant flags back in the 80s and 90s. These were a big deal at the time. How cool is that? This is actually mine as well. Very cool. And of course you gotta have some old hats with that cool embroidered logo. This one over here, which looks like it's from the 90s, has that 90s logo, the one that we saw up on that sign. And then this one is pretty special because this promotes the 1996 Olympics, of which Sesame Place was a sponsor. And one of their little Olympic mascots was actually here that year. So that's very cool. And then we also have this artwork back here, which again shows some concept art of what the park was going to look like in 1980. And it pretty much ended up looking exactly like this. I mean, the proportions are obviously characterized. But yeah, the computer gallery was made, Grover's Cable Guide, Count's Ballroom, and a lot of the stuff actually stayed in the park for like decades. But this is such cool artwork here. The original artwork of this was actually just auctioned. Well, not just, that's a lie. It was auctioned a long time ago. But someone found the original artwork. I'll put the artist's name in here. And these are some food-related items. This over here is a Wendy's placemat from 2000, which promoted some price off of your admission. This looks like a little reference to Oscar's Garage, which is actually still in the park. It's one of the oldest structures in the park, actually. And this really blows my mind. This is the menu from the 1980 grand opening. And if you look in here, you can see what's on it. You have salads, sandwiches, pizza, chicken legs. Look at that. What are the desserts though, right? That's what we care about. Monster cookie. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that. And a grape. There's some cool souvenirs over here too, like the souvenir book, the activity book, a little map of everything from 1980. We have an old parking pass. This is an item of mine. This is from 94, I believe. Their parking passes used to be like very decorated. They were very cool. Their own little souvenirs. And this here is a golden coin from 2014. It's from when Cookie's Monsterland opened. I believe it was given to the guests that were here first. I have no idea what this is, but it's really cool. So it's just, I think it has like a coupon in there. It's got some pictures on it. That's fun. A little cardboard thing. And then we have these stickers. And the thing about these stickers, I think they're stickers, or magnets, that are really cool, is that they actually depict the characters as they look in the park. Honkers, these are from 1988. And these actually are Grover and Prairie Dawn. And both of these characters debuted here in 1988. So that's sort of a fun little thing. Then we got Bird and Cookie. And this old jacket, which also has the old logo, the original logo. Very cool stuff. We have this, this is one of the original brochures, which we see some more of those later. And this tin, I think, is old coins. It's like a little bank. And then one of the coolest things also is just this enormous flag. There's the old logo. I wasn't able to place this exactly, but come on, man, this is so cool. And now this here has to be one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I certainly was not expecting this to exist. And you'll have to forgive some of the noise. It's they turned all the TVs on here that are showing some of the old commercials and stuff. So obviously there's a lot of information here that talks about the computer gallery. But this was the country's largest collection of computers at the time. And they actually still have the original games on here. And yeah, they work. You can actually play these games. This is like the coolest thing ever. I mean, I'm not going to mess with it yet, but oh my gosh, these are so cool. I can't even believe they still have this. Like, and they remade all these, so it looks like the original gallery. Oh my gosh, guys. And right here are the old tokens for the computer gallery. The silver one was an employee token, and that was sort of to test the games out. But yeah, you guys have to, if you come here, you have to play these games, because this is just, I mean, this is so crazy. These still exist. So the computer gallery was converted to like an eatery in 2001. But these games are actually made by Atari, which is sort of a sign of the times. But these are preserved, guys. You can actually come play these games again since 2000. I mean, guys. And over here you have concept art for Sesame Island. Now, Sesame Island is still a part of Sesame Place, obviously. The thing you might recognize is Good Ship Sesame, which still exists, except it has Elmo up on top there. Sesame Island opened in 1990, and this is a lot of the concept art. Now, some of this is so cool. I mean, Sesame Harbor, whatever that is. And this is the back of the neighborhood. It looked like they wanted the characters up there, and then just so much stuff. Just a little like games area. It looks like these movers that have Grover above them. I can't tell if that's a coaster or what, but it's so cool. And Suzanne Sessions did a lot of work for Anheuser-Busch at the time, in the 90s. So this is from some part of her archive, I'm sure. Caribbean Cafe. I mean, we can dream about all this, guys. Look at the count. These are so great. I know Bob Castley did a lot of concept art. That may have only been for like actual attraction blueprints. I can't remember exactly, but I did want to mention him because he may have had a part in some of this stuff as well. So cool. And then I'm sure you recognize these guys, the Twiddlebugs. Now, are these from Twiddlebug Land? I don't know. I don't believe they are. But they're in the exact same style. And how cool that these still exist. And they're also by the sign here. And then this is the old Slimy Shoot sign. Slimy Shoot, excuse me. This attraction is still in Big Bird's Beach, but it's just been renamed and rethemed. But that is so cool. That was in the park for decades as well. There's so many photos here to look at and just enjoy. I mean, if you come here, you gotta like take a minute and just look at everything. The old the Sesame Street Theater when it was the Big Bird Theater, and I believe that is a promotional photo for, I don't know, probably You and Me at Sesame. We have some old, this thing is still in the park, the handprints. Some old employees, some of whom are still here. That is the Paradise Theater. It says Oscar's Big Game Show. That is now Abby's Paradise Theater. Look at this Twiddlebug right here. So Twiddlebug Land used to actually have Twiddlebugs that would walk around the park in Twiddlebug Land. And they were there in the early 90s when it opened, and they were retired pretty soon after. But it's always special to find a photo of them, because they're actually hard to find pictures of. Rubber Ducky Pond was actually one of the opening day attractions in 1980. And in 1992, it had a couple revisions, but in 1992 they added these statues of Bert and Ernie. I'm glad there's a photo here to see. and they were fishing up on top of this little hill. And they took it down in 2010. It was replaced by Elmo's Cloud Chaser for Elmo's World, which is still there. But look, guys, they're still here. But they still exist. They live. Look at Bert. He's still here. Ernie's on the other side. We will get to him later. So cool, man. Now he has a stick now. His fishing rod is gone, but what a guy. Elmo's World. I don't know if this was used in the Elmo's World Live show exactly. It may have been. But Elmo's World Live was at Sesame Place for, I think it was the longest running show, from 2001 to 2014. Here's a shirt for that show. And the VIP sign for the reserved seating. Amazing that some of the stuff still exists. Again, it's just so crazy. We have a little tambourine that they sold that you would use in some of their shows. These Sesame Place shoes, I'm not sure what these were for, but those are kind of fun. I want those. And I appreciate the addition of some modern things here. This is some concept art for the Magic of Art backdrop. This backdrop is still in the Sesame Street Theater. Here's some props from Magic of Art. This squirrel guy, pretty cool. The show is now retired, but look, we have some of it saved here. And then also, as far as modern, for Elmo the Musical, we have the Hope Diamond cookie, and some more props, which is very fun. Now, the Sesame Brass played at Sesame Place for a long time in the 90s. We have some patches, a little saxophone here, prop, and some of the sheet music. I mean, how crazy is that? And this concept art of the uniforms. Now, in 1995, they had a show called The Amazing Adventures of Elmo and Zoe, which was a green screen show that you could actually be a part of. There's some cool footage of that on YouTube. And this is some crew stuff. Look at that. Closed in 2000 to make room for Elmo's World Live. And you may miss it, so I'll point it out here. It's behind this screen. It says Elmo Rocks. This was the backdrop for the Elmo's Rocks show. Which, what a perfect backdrop. Now, if you like the parades, this is the section for you. Again, we will have a part 2 with some more of this stuff. But look at these little models of the floats from Rock Around the Block. This is from Neighborhood Street Party, some concept art. Just, I mean, this stuff is amazing. Look at this concept art for the Rock Around the Block logo, for Rosita and Prairie's float. I mean, this stuff is, we've never seen this stuff before. The Amazing Alphabet Parade. Look at this entire diorama of the entire parade. What? Look at Prairie Dawn. They can add her now. Some uniform concept art for Neighborhood Street Party. You can still see some of this stuff in the parade. We have some more items from the parade's Amazing Outfit Parade hat, a maraca from Rock Around the Block. We have this letter Z from Neighborhood Street Party. That's an old one. And we got these little screens talking about these parades and stuff, so check out some of these videos when you guys are here. And here is Ernie from Rubber Ducky Pond, also holding a stick, but he's looking good. Now, if you guys come here, obviously this is too big to put in a display case. Just don't touch anything. These are old. They're hanging on. So just observe from afar. But these things are so cool. You get to see them right up close. Just don't touch. Don't touch. Now this has to be the coolest thing here, because this is not just Sesame Place history. This is Sesame Street history. This is Muppets history. This is a real Grover Muppet. It was actually here in the Sesame studio in the early 80s. I believe 1980 to 1988. They had a set of Sesame Street in the studio, and they had these photo puppets in the windows there for pictures. And these were made by the Muppet Workshop, by Sesame Workshop. So this is an 80s Jim Henson era Grover, and he looks so good. This is, I mean, I can't even believe this still exists. I mean, this is like, it's gotta be one of the highlights of this whole museum. You gotta come here just to see Grover in person, guys. It's actually Grover. There he is. Yeah, I could just look at him all day. He looks so good. There aren't a lot of Muppets, just to make a point here, there aren't a lot of Muppets from the 80s, especially Sesame, that are on display in any museum, even the puppetry museums themselves, because the workshop keeps a lot of those in their own archive. So the fact that this guy made it and is still here 45 years later, and he's in amazing condition because he was kept away from sunlight, so he did not deteriorate as badly as he would have. He just looks so good. He's from right here, right in the studio. Now also in the studio at the time was this big statue, this big statue of Ernie in his bathtub. So it's kind of fitting that they sort of recreated it here, so you can do a little photo op with Ernie, just like you could in 1980. So this, even though it's kind of you know, goofy, this actually has history. This is actually like a pretty good reference here. And here we have every single brochure that Sesame Place ever made. So you can just enjoy all this artwork when you're here. We don't make them anymore, because everything's digital now, but some of these are still pretty recent, in recent years. But man, how cool are these? And if you're into crushed pennies, you can get your own souvenir. So there's so much memorabilia here and all these souvenirs from the park's history, and you can get your own. And these machines are actually from 2009. So 2000s era souvenirs, yes please, you can get these. So these are all the characters you can get. And they've had these machines forever. They had them in the 90s, in the 2000s, and these, here they are. And you can see what I mean here by the old logo. That's the 2000s logo. And there it is up there. And of course we have screens throughout that are playing shows from all eras of Sesame Place. All your entertainment. All of it. Now, Milton Glasser and Eric McMillan designed most of the park. And of course it was also supervised by the workshop, by Jim Henson. Everybody had a say in this. But this is an original model of the park, which is so cool. This does still exist in Eric McMillan's hands, but we have this amazing photo of it. And again, all this stuff, there's so many images, so many pictures around. Really take time when you're here and look at some of this stuff, because you'll recognize things that are either still here or things that you probably forgot about over the years, or maybe you'll see yourself, because there's a lot of modern photos in here. It's always special to see the things that still stand, at least to me, because the park changed so much over the years, and I love seeing this appreciation of the park and its history, and these old promotional images and brochures and opening day stamps, and I mean some of the stuff that you just have never seen before. So that's it, guys. Come check it out. Have to come see this museum while it's here. Some never before seen stuff. Come see it.